It's live commentary here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with Billy Dawes, Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod.
Hello there, good afternoon. The scene just about set here for the first meeting between these two this season. They are also crucial. And given Celtic, perhaps in particular, over the course of the last decade or so, don't tend to ship too many points to the other sides in Scotland's top flight, it then brings these fixtures right under the microscope. The two captains down there, Callum McGregor and James Tavernier, both veterans of this fixture, shake hands. The referee with the coin toss, John Beaton, down there. James Tavernier's 38th game against Celtic. He's lost 23 of them so far as he looks for a change in fortune. Celtic players going off into their huddle away to the left. The supporters here, 60,000 of them, no visiting fans again for this fixture. Of course, looks like to be into the third match between them in the league this season before we start seeing visiting fans coming back in. That will be back here come the springtime. Callum McGregor just having one last word with his teammates. Celtic were unbeaten in this fixture last season. They won 4, they drew 1, and of course that included their late Scottish Cup final victory. Adam Ida's goal settling the showpiece at Hampden. The Celtic players break away. It will be Rangers who are going to kick this one off, shooting from right to left towards the Jock Stein west end of the stadium. Blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. Celtic, of course, in the green and white hoops. And Rangers get the game underway as it's knocked back by Diamonde to Suter, who pumps it long with the right foot, looking for Matondo. 2 goals, 2 assists against Ross County last week. Celtic get it half away. Diamonde trying to pick it back off Bernardo, and it is the Rangers number 10 who goes down and wins the free kick just beyond the midway point of Celtic territory in the opening minute of the game. And it's the Celtic supporters making the noise, Billy Dodd, but it's Rangers who might get the first opportunity of the match.
It is, and they were direct, weren't they, right up to Dessers, and when it's headed clear by, or booted clear by Carter Vickers, Diamonde showing good strength to wrestle with Bernardo, and eventually gets a free kick, probably 35 yards out, Liam. So opportunity for a delivery, and Czerny, this man Czerny, he can certainly deliver.
Yeah, Václav Czerny stands over the free kick, left-footed coming up here. There's a big line of players along the 18-yard line, and it comes from Czerny, bends it towards the back post area. It's a header back across the face of goal from Tavernier, but it's going to go out for a throw-in on the reverse side. It was Robin Proper actually, who got there at the back post, but he got way too much meat on the header, and it goes out for a Celtic throw on this near side.
Yeah, they had 2 opportunities there. They could have played it into that almost near post where Dessers wasn't that well picked up, or they could have played it to the back post. They elected to go to the back post, and they did get somebody round the back, and they got a free header. And
I thought Proper should have done better with his header, maybe put it back into a more dangerous area, but he got too much on it and looked it beyond that far post. But chance gone for Rangers, Liam.
Momentarily, though, they're still in the attacking third, though. This time the ball forward from Jeffrey goes out for a goal kick to Celtic. Just approaching the end of the second minute of the game. Rangers took centre and have pretty much had all the possession since then. Celtic looking to settle here as McGregor knocks it out to the touchline for Taylor, and back to Liam Scales left of his own box. He's under a bit of pressure now with the new signing Trustee on the bench. Not a great ball out from him either, and Rangers have it back with Tavernier. Czerny has it on the right-hand side and gets it all wrong as he slices it behind for the goal kick, and that wasn't the kind of quality that we were expecting from Václav Czerny from that free kick just a moment ago, which, well, he did his bit as he found Proper at the back post. The Rangers defender couldn't divert it to a teammate inside the 6-yard box, and Philippe Clement will be delighted to get him back in the starting 11. He missed last week. And the 6-0 win over Ross County as Carter Vickers looks to find Johnston, and he's put it straight out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. It's not been the best start by the champions.
No, and I think Rangers obviously did the right thing in putting the ball into the Celtics half. right from the goal, from the kick-off, and that's allowed them to be up the pitch and put Celtic under pressure. Celtic trying to play out, and it hasn't just quite worked for them at the moment. They haven't settled into the game that well.
Rangers have it with Czerny on the far side. Maida puts him under pressure, and Conor Barron shives Kyogo down, and John Beaton comes up. He's pointing the finger at the Rangers number 8. There's going to be no further action against Barron, making his debut in this fixture this afternoon, but he absolutely wiped Kyogo out, and we know that Kyogo has this well-publicised shoulder problem, and Rangers looking to leave their mark on him early on here.
That was poor from Czerny, leaving him short, but I thought Barron played the ball and played it out wide, but his momentum carried him into Kyogo, and yeah, probably a free kick, but certainly not a booking.
No, I agree with that. I think to get contact with the ball, it can almost go through Kyogo, and he did it.
Yeah, here comes McGregor driving forwards. A good challenge by Sterling, but Bernardo's onto it to win it back for Celtic. Out in the left, Taylor finds Hatate. Out to Paolo Bernardo, drops the shoulder. He's on his right side, rolls it along the grass to Hatate. Gets himself away from Diamonde and shoots from distance, well past the left-hand post. 25 yards out he was, maybe even further out than that. 4 minutes in, Celtic 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, Celtic's first little chance to get into Rangers half and try to build the game up with a short, quick one-touch passing, and that time Hatate just creating a little bit of room for himself. Well out, he's gone for the strike, but it got it well wide. But it was a chance for him just to test out Jack Butland early in this game.
And Butland and Suter exchanging short passes. And Butland's got it back here. It's a first-time ball low to the left of the box for Proper. A new signing, and there are plenty of those in Rangers ranks. Celtic with all their new deadline arrivals on the bench today as Butland plays it out to Tavernier on the right. Dink ball forwards and controlled on the right knee by Dujon Sterling across halfway. Czerny ahead of him, Diamonde in field. It's still Sterling trying to take on Callum McGregor down the right in front of the big North stand over there, and too many Celtic jerseys around him. Eventually it goes out for a Rangers throw-in about level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box.
It's good build-up by Rangers actually, and Jack Butland taking a little bit of risk, which I think that that shows that he's confident. But he did get his pass away, and it created a little bit of space down on the right-hand side for Celtic to progress up the pitch, Rangers to progress up the pitch.
Dessers with a header to the edge of the box. Diamonde looks it towards goal. It was well passed. I'm sure exactly what he'd intended there, but it's gone behind for the goal kick. The remnants of the smoke from the pyrotechnics just drifting across Celtic Park to a kind of misty grey day in Glasgow. As Schmeichel, under pressure from Diamonde, rolls it out to Carter Vickers. Bernardo slips and Barron's onto it. Moves it infield to Matondo. Fires it into the feet to the right of Tavernier. Now he's driving forward, slips it into the box. Dessers is in, onto the right. He shoots straight at Schmeichel. What a chance that was for Cyril Dessers. And he's looking around for answers. He's not able to find them either side of Schmeichel. He's probably putting Rangers in front, but it's a timid effort straight at the Celtic keeper, who holds on with ease. He shouldn't have been afforded. It stays Celtic 0, Rangers 0. Billy Dodds.
Liam, I think the flag was up for offside anyway, but nonetheless it's typical Cyril Dessers. It would have been offside, but my word, what a chance. Rangers go high from the by kick, and they press and they nick it. Eventually nearly nicked it first time, get it second time. Tavernier into Dessers, he does the right thing, gets on his right. He should just slot it in the far corner.
Here comes Czerny down the right hand side, infield to Tavernier, back to Barron. His embarrassment would have quickly evaporated given the flag eventually went up on the far side. Jonathan Bell as Matondo comes down this near side of the Celtic box. Good challenge, Johnston. Celtic get it clear. But Rangers have it back, proper to Barron. Celtic haven't used the ball well yet. They can't get a hold of it at the moment. It's the visitors dictating play, and it's Suter out to Czerny on the touchline on the far side, level with the 18-yard line. Low ball infield to the angle for Tavernier. Stabs it with the outside of the boot for Diamonde. Back to Tavernier, and then out to Czerny on that far side. Ball forwards cut out by McGregor. Tavernier slides in to prevent Hatate getting to it. Cushion header, Matondo gives it straight to Hatate. Hatate now moving up towards the edge of the centre circles. Challenged by Diamonde, but McGregor's onto it. Sweeps it forward to Maida. If anyone can keep it in, he can, and he has done. Up against Suter on the far side. Maida on the right foot, just forced back the way a little bit here. Still he has it. Finds his countryman Hatate. Now McGregor, and now on the left-hand side, low ball Taylor, and it's away on the 6-yard line by Jeff Day. Well, it's behind Kyogo. It didn't quite reach Maida. Celtic's best moment in the game, which is still in its infancy. It's Celtic 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, listen, we talked about Rangers, and they've done well in this opening sort of period to press Celtic really, really high. But if you break the press, and they can play very quickly on the counter-attack, and that's what he did on that occasion. Maeda down the left-hand side, and eventually that ball goes to Greg Taylor, who cut it back, and it just evaded any Celtic player that was coming into the box. But a good chance, best chance for Celtic.
Yeah, and as usual, McGregor at the heart of it as well.
It was. I mean, to get it wide, I mean, if there's any angle on the cutback, Maeda probably scores there, and you were right to point that out. But it was just in between Kyogo and Maeda, the cutback, wasn't it?
Since Ange Postecoglou took over, here is a loose ball, evades Johnston on the near side. And Postecoglou took over a few years ago. Since then, Celtic have played 117 Premiership matches. They've only lost 9 of them, and a couple of those came after they'd already sealed titles. So it's an awesome record that they've had, and obviously they've had fabulous records generally over the course of the last 12 years, but it takes a lot to beat them. Of course, they lost twice to Hearts last season, once to Kilmarnock. That was their 3 league defeats. Pretty imperious. As Proper picks up at the edge of his own box and rolls it short to Barron. Barron then dinks it to John Souttar. He's then stretching his legs up towards halfway into the centre circle, rolls it with the side foot, the right out to Jefte, who controls and passes it back infield to Barron, forward to Diamonde, and back to Connor Barron, who moves it left to right of the circle there for Souttar. Low ball out to Tavernier, dink forward there, looking for Sterling. He's got in behind McGregor. Taylor's nowhere to be seen at the moment. Sterling back there into the path of Tavernier. Controls with the undersoles. A brilliant ball in and headed wide by Matondo. Big chance again. Dessers was behind him. He might well have been the better option just with the trajectory that the ball came into the box with. But Matondo got his body position all wrong. 10 in. It stays 0-0, but that is another opportunity for Rangers. There was no flag this time.
Yeah, they should be in front, and it's brilliant building from the back. They're pushing Sterling high, and it's given Celtic a problem. Maeda doesn't know where to go. Tavernier or not.
That's brilliant from Atate. He's found McGregor, now forward. Nicholas Kuhn in the box. Kyogo's waiting and scores! Vintage Kyogo! Vintage Celtic! And the champions hit the front here early on in the first derby of the season. And Kyogo Furahashi's 8th goal against Rangers breaks the deadlock and unlocks the noise here in Glasgow's East End. Celtic 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, listen, I just think this might be checked for offside. I'm not 100% sure, but I just felt that maybe Bernardo was a little bit sort of Bernardo or Kuhn that straight offside, but we'll see. But listen, it was Celtic playing on the counter-attack. We talked about it. Rangers pressing, and that it was Kuhn, that just evaded the offside, but it will be checked. But that was Celtic devastating.
They are checking for a possible offside here.
I think he might have been a half yard ahead of the game.
This would be against Nicholas Kuhn rather than Kyogo.
Yeah.
So the nervy wait. We saw a couple of goals ruled out in Dingwall last night.
But it showed you, sorry Liam, it showed you.
Should we go Andy Burke, because he's having a look at a replay, and we'll get you in a second. Andy.
Yeah, I've seen one replay, Liam. It is Nicholas Kuhn, that pass to him. On first viewing, it is so tight. He might be a toe offside.
Here we go. Offside, no goal, there you go. So it does not count, back to 0-0. There was always going to be drama here this afternoon, and there Rangers missing an opportunity with Matondo at one end and Kyogo with the ball in the net at the other. But Kuhn offside.
Yeah. A really good spot, Pat.
I was
so
just
close.
watching where he was right in line with us here, where our vision is straight across the line, and I just thought he went that half yard too early, but it just shows you what Celtic can do on the counter-attack, and that was devastating. It was brilliant play in the middle of the pitch to almost exploit the space that Rangers had left.
Yeah, Rangers have started well, you're right, and we maybe just stunned them a little bit because they were high up, they were putting on the pressure, they've started this game really well. Suddenly Celtic go bang, they're through and it's in the net, so maybe just put the frighteners on Rangers a little bit.
It's what they do, isn't it, Celtic? It was a brutal counter-attack, but it doesn't count. Kyogo stays on 7 goals in 14 derbies against Rangers.
Yeah, just looking at Rangers, the wide men over on the right-hand side, Tierney and Tavernier, and one of them, depending on what position they pick up, it might be Tavernier on the inside, it might be Tierney wide, or Tierney on the inside, and then
Scales with a long ball looking for Kyogo, Butland's onto it.
Yeah, Tavernier wide, so they're mixing it up really well. And on this side of here, it's Matonda. He found himself inside when he had that header, and that meant then that Johnson had to go in and pick him up beyond Carter Vickers, because Carter Vickers didn't see him coming and he was short. So that's I think a tactical situation that Rangers are doing very, very well with at the moment.
Yeah, we saw that Ross County goal rolled out last night. Similar situation, really. It was Eamon Brophy, who was just marginally offside before Ronan Hale had the ball in the net. It didn't count, and like that one, Kyogo's doesn't count, and it's goalless here at Celtic Park. It's Butland under pressure from Kyogo, finds Suter, steps out of his box, rolls it out to the right for Tavernier, and then back to the Rangers goalkeeper.
Rangers are doing this well, Liam, finding the spare man well, and if Celtic put on a bit of pressure, John Suter is having a drive out of defence, so it's because Sterling's going high and the Diamandi's going high, and they don't really know how to handle it so far in the match. Celtic leaves Barron to go on the ball at times. I'm not sure what line to have Celtic have a go.
Roll back by Suter to Butland, he plays it short to Proper, and to the Rangers goalkeeper again. So we're in the 15th minute of the match. It is 0-0, but of course it has come with the drama you would expect in this fixture, which means so much to the supporters of both these clubs. As Proper has it at the edge of his box, he's in no hurry at the moment as he eventually turns and rolls it into the midfield for Diamande. Permanent signing at Rangers now, still listed as one of the new recruits, been on loan last season.
Yeah, Rangers have got almost, when they started building the game, they've almost got 4 players high up on the line. That's keeping Celtic's back 4 intact, and they can't push forward in any way to help their midfield.
Scales with a calm ball out to Taylor. Rangers were on the attack there. It's now with McGregor, who's driving forward, goes down. He's fouled. I think it's Tavernier. It's going to be a free kick. Philippe Clement doesn't agree with the decision. He's having a pop at David Dickinson, the 4th official down below us. It's a Celtic free kick. Just taken quickly back to Scales now with Carter Vickers, who strolls up towards the halfway line, right of the centre circle. Low ball out to Kuhn, trying to play it first time to the underlapping Alistair Johnston. It comes off Jeffy and out for a throw into Celtic, which Johnston's over. Bit of movement ahead of him from Kuhn, but he's delayed it. Celtic fans want Johnston to get on with it. He's taking it short to Bernardo. Back to Johnston, out to Bernardo via Kuhn, now back to Johnston. He's at the byline, he pulls it back, and then it goes! This one will count! Daisen Maida rolls it home! He's all down this right-hand side. Rangers could not prevent it. Coming into the box, it went behind Kyogo, but Maida was there to ram it home. And Celtic do make the breakthrough in the first derby of the season. It's Celtic 1, Rangers 0, and it is Daisen Maida.
Oh, it was great play, great set-up play, and yeah, the fans were a bit anxious. What Alistair Johnston taking his time on the set piece, but he was right to do it, to set it up. As soon as the ball was laid back to him, eventually he made that run beyond everybody to the byline. Lovely little ball, and he cut it back with pace past Kyogo, and there was Maeda coming in at the back post. Got away from Tavernier, who was almost, I don't know what you think, Billy, poor defending from Tavernier. He's got to match him, but it was a clear, just a stroke it into the back of the net. It wasn't even tight to him.
The two things that you look at there, apart from Maida stroking it home, Tavernier, as Packy's talked about, but Alistair Johnston, what a run from him.
Yeah, but Matondo, Celtic, listen, right, let's cut to the chase. Celtic, the goal, absolutely brilliant from a throw-in, but my word, Rangers defensively, all over the place. Matondo lets Johnson go, then the cut back, proper slips. Tavernier, it looks as if he slipped, but he lost his man anyway. Maeda on the move, on the outside of him, hammers it home. Brilliant from Celtic, terrible from Rangers.
Third goal of the season, Daisen Maeda, I'm sure, has caused James Tavernier more than one nightmare since he first came up against the Japanese forward. He's caused him so many issues in these games, and that's another one. Maeda has Celtic in front just minutes after they were denied by the offside VAR check. Rangers have it with Diamonde. He goes down in the centre circle. John Beaton's allowing the advantage. Václav Černy's onto it, the far side. Good challenging back there by Kyogo, helping out. In fact, Maeda as well. And it's great teamwork, team effort from the Celtic forwards to get back there and help Greg Taylor.
Well, that was what Brendan Rodgers was talking about. It's a counter-pressing. It's not even pressing, it's just going after the ball. As soon as you lose it, there's 2 or 3 players around the ball, and that in itself,
yellow card coming here. Jeffrey doesn't even think it's a foul. He's furiously shaking his finger at John Beaton, who produces the first yellow card of the match. It's for a foul on Nicholas Kuhn on this near side. Celtic have a free kick, and Rangers, Billy, are going to have to be pretty careful, because whilst it's been a promising start to proceedings for them, the ball's ended up in their own net twice. One of them has counted, but this game could, as it does for many teams when they come here, get away from them very quickly.
Yeah, I said, try and bed yourself into the game, get through that first half an hour. Rangers have looked a threat. They have an attacking force about them. They look dangerous. They should have scored with Matondo's header. Dessers should have stuck it in the net, although he was offside. So they have that threat going forward. But I also said, Liam, the one thing that I was worried about, can they keep a clean sheet, because defensively they don't look solid individually and collectively, and that's borne out, hasn't it? Because twice, as you said, there's another throw in. Twice, as you said, Celtic cut through them. Twice the ball's in the net, one offside, one a goal.
There's touch still by Diamonde to try and win it back, and he's got it. Celtic players are all over the blue shirts, and there's 2 players colliding and going down. It's Johnston and Diamonde, and it's gone Rangers' way. The referee blowing his whistle. Brendan Rodgers now has moved to come out to the edge of his technical area to have a go at somebody. Normally you would think, out of all the officials on the pitch, the 4th official job's the easier one, but I'm not so sure that's going to be the case for David Dickinson this afternoon.
Yeah, I didn't see the incident actually where I was on the ball, but he's booked.
Oh yeah, Johnston's booked.
Yeah, I think just a sharp word would probably, both of them might have been the way around that. You know, he's just booked the 2 of them, which is a bit daft, unless the 4th official has given them a bit more clarity on what happened.
There's 3 bookings in the game. The teams aren't really giving themselves a chance against Celtic. They've scored their opening goal. This is their 5th match. Scored their opening goal inside 17 minutes as Alec Ray, one of Philippe Clement's assistant coaches, comes out and gets booked, to the delight of the Celtic supporters. You know how big a Rangers man Alec Ray is. Philippe Clement's telling him to calm down. So, spate of yellows there. Yeah, Hatate scored inside 17 against Kilmarnock. Kuhn scored inside 3 against Hibs. Maeda scored inside 4 in the League Cup meeting the week later. Callum McGregor scored inside 3 against St Mirren last week. And that's 17 again, and Celtic are back on it with Kuhn. Early ball, Maeda's in again. Tavernier slides in and puts it behind, and John Beaton signals corner.
Just got a touch on it. Yeah. So important that it's a penalty, but again, Jeffy, worried about individually, defensively. Jeffy really poor, slow to react, nicked off him, ball through. Maeda showing his pace. Tavernier panicking, gets an important touch, corner.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a penalty. I thought it was a really good touch on the ball. They're not even going to check it, but certainly Celtic on that counter-attack, really quick pace and dynamism.
Outswinging corner from Paulo Bernardo on the Celtic right, and it comes. It's away by a combination of Dessers and Proper, and out it goes for a throw-in on this near side. Since Kyogo had the ball in the net, Celtic have taken control of the match. That one didn't count. Maeda's did. They lead 1-0. We played a quarter just about of this one.
Yeah, they were brave, Celtic, in the way that Rangers started, pressing them really hard. They continued to try to play their game, and they've had rewards.
Yeah, and look at this. Johnston with a quick throw into McGregor, and his attempted ball across the goal mouth comes off Barron and behind for another Celtic corner on this near side.
Just switch off defensively every opportunity. Matondo down, he looks as if maybe he's got a little knock, but Barron it was on that occasion, because Celtic interchange, it's not the same man that goes. Sometimes the winger who'll run round, but then the midfielder takes off. You're not switched on defensively like Barron was at there, Matondo for the goal, then you're in trouble. You've got to be concentrating for 90 minutes in this game when you're on the defensive duties, and Rangers have switched off, and it's cost them.
I mean, some of the goals they've conceded here in recent years have been shocking. And
mind-blowing, Liam.
That wasn't anywhere near the worst of them. Ross McCausland, I think, is going to have to come on for Matondo here. He's been given the nod by his manager, and Rangers are going to be forced into this change. So blow for Matondo. He played brilliantly last week. 2 goals, 2 assists. Very different taking on Ross County, with the greatest of respect to taking on Celtic inside their own stadium, of course. But Matondo would have been hoping to make an impression. He scored that, what turned out to be the PFA Scotland goal of the season, that late equaliser against Celtic last term. I think he's going to want to have he's wanting to come back on and give it a go.
Yeah, he's stretching his hamstring a little bit, but he wants to stay on, and he is an important player. He's got a little bit of pace.
Short corner, taking the Kuhn, Bernardo, and now Taylor, now McGregor. Central area, rolls it short to Hatate, back to the edge of the centre circle for Johnston. And now with Taylor, Rangers down to 10 at the moment, with Matondo the other side of the touchline. Barron tries to get there ahead of Kuhn and does, but he's kept it in play only for Nicholas Kuhn. You'd almost better just letting it go out for the throw. Kuhn crosses in, but it's too close to Butland, who holds on the 6-yard line, and it stays Celtic 1, Rangers 0 on 24. Matondo's back on.
Yeah, that quick press in the game, winning the ball back in a dangerous area, Barron, and you know, you've got to be sure what you're going to do, even before the ball comes to you. From a Rangers perspective, do you clear your lines? Do you try to control, pass? But let's do it, and do it early, otherwise you're under pressure.
I think they've shelved the change for now. They'll give Matondo a few minutes for the looks of it. Hatate beats Barron to it, but it's ball forwards cut out by Proper, and he finds Jefte. Long ball from him goes right through to Scales. Rangers a little bit dazed and confused at the moment, given what's happened. Trailing 1-0, but Celtic give it away in the midfield. Czerny's pass cut out by Hatate. He gets a second chance to pass it out to Dessers over on that far side. Shows too much of it to Maida, and out it goes for a throw into Rangers over on that far side.
Yeah, I was with you there, Liam, because I was looking at Dessers' body language when they couldn't build from the back and find a spare man, and he just let the shoulders shrunk into his body a little bit, and then suddenly the ball came to him and they were off again. But just got to get through this little period. The Rangers Celtic look really dangerous, especially when they get the ball. They look as if they can cut through Rangers at will.
Tavernier firing it forward, chased by Sterling. Scales gets there, he slides in, but puts it behind for a Rangers corner over on that far side, just in the northwest corner of the stadium over there. The Rangers right as they attack the goal to the left. We're in the main stand up above the visiting technical area, and Václav Černy's over the corner, though Tavernier's trotting out to that area as well right now. The 26th minute, with Celtic leading thanks to Daizen Maida's opening goal, his 3rd of the season. And Černy is one arm in the air as he looks to send this corner in. It's an in-swinger, bends it in, and it's headed away by Scale. Brilliantly defended. A year on from that really impressive coming-of-age performance at Ibrox against Rangers. Tavernier with a long ball from the halfway line all the way back to his goalkeeper. He had to. There were 3 Celtic players in attacking positions there. He not dealt with it properly as Jefte gets it round Maida, shifts it infield to Diamonde, takes a touch, McGregor slides in. Celtic have it back with Nicholas Kuhn. Jinks away from Tavernier, he's away from Barron now. Still it's Kuhn, Sterling battling. Kuhn still has it, left-hand side of the 6-yard box. His ball back's cut out. Suter's caught napping though. Here's Hatate, plays the 1-2 with Bernardo. Hatate back to McGregor, short ball forward on the 18-yard line. Bernardo back to McGregor, out to the left-hand side for Taylor. Short ball for Hatate, squeezes it through to Taylor, level with the 6-yard line, wins the corner off Černy. And that's all. As John Suter took a touch he didn't need to take when he could have booted it into the stand. He decided to take the touch, and Celtic had them up against the ropes again.
Yeah, I just wonder were they looking at any of the papers during the week, or listening to Brendan Rodgers interviews where he talked about that high, quick counter press that Celtic have added to their game this year, and he was really pleased with it. that's what's been the highlight of the first half, when Rangers are getting into trouble.
27.5 minutes on the clock. Celtic with a 1-0 lead, looking for a second here. Bernardo's corner comes in, headed away by Suter. Czerny then flicks it away with the left boot and out for a throw-in. Over on the far side, Václav Czerny called into the Czech squad for the upcoming Nations League matches over the course of the next week and a half. That's out of play for a throw into Celtic over on the far side, which will be taken by Taylor. Level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box. Short to Hatate, back to Taylor, who goes back to Scales. Under pressure from Dessers, who started the season really well. Scales, the start of this game really well. He's looked assured again. As I said, he's got that new threat in Aaron Trusty. He saw off Nawrocki last season, didn't he? Got the injury opportunity, of course, but he hasn't looked back since then. You would think it would be harsh for him to lose his place. As Scales finds Kyogo midway inside the Rangers half, gets it out to Kuhn, wide right, level with the penalty spot. On his left side, looks to try and move it forward to Hatate, cut out by Matondo. Breaks now to Johnston. And he rolls it back to Carter Vickers, right of the centre circle, striding forward, and then checks his run, passes it out to Johnston. Back to Carter Vickers, it's opened up for him, it's opened right up for him. Gets to the edge of the box, outside of the boot to Bernardo, who fires it across and behind for a corner off Suter. Good defending that time, but it's just wave after wave of green and white attack here. Celtic 1, Rangers 0, almost on 29.
Celtic have stepped up a notch, Pat, haven't they? But I think that's because Rangers are caught in between a rock and a hard place, and a little bit like rabbit in the headlights just now. Whether do we go and press, whether we build for the back, that quickness that we're doing it to start with. Diamonde caught the ball, Suter caught the ball. Just in between just now, Rangers are certainly rocked.
They've only won one of the last 12 derbies, Rangers, as they face this Bernardo corner, and the header from Maida goes across the face of goal. Picked up by Kyogo over on the reverse left-hand side. His ball's cut out by Tavernier, then he gives it straight to Czerny. Hatate with the challenge, and it breaks back to Jack Butland. It's all a little bit hear him, scare him in there. Half an hour just about played. 1-0 to Celtic, long ball forward. Alistair Johnston's the covering player. Czerny pushes him to the ground, and Celtic will have a free kick.
I'm saying a bit caught in between, but I certainly wouldn't be doing a Czerny and trying to nutmeg people at the edge of the box. That's not where Rangers are at now. Celtic have really got it together. Had the nervous start for 10 minutes, and since then, Pat, since the goal, since the offside goal, I mean, they've really looked. The press is on, as you said, Pat. They're passing the ball well, and they're really getting at Rangers.
Yeah, see, Rangers have found it difficult. Whether Dessers, he's up against two centre halves who pass the ball between each other, and he's got to play between them and almost force, you know, somebody to pass the ball in midfield and then try to deal with it, because they're not getting close at all. And this is a problem for them. Early on, they were high up the pitch. They were almost pressing. Now they find it very difficult to put that press on.
Challenging by Bernardo on the far side, out off Tavernier, then back off Bernardo and out for a Rangers throw-in over there. Celtic are looking to win their first 4 league games for the second time since 2019. It's the first time they've started a league season with 3 clean sheets since 2010-11, yet to concede in the league. Just that Kukarevich header in the League Cup tie here against Hibs a couple of weekends ago. It's the only time Kasper Schmeichel's had to take the ball out of his own net, so it's been a rock-solid defensive start by Celtic, though they have coughed up a couple of opportunities this afternoon. Both Dessers and Matondo left Aru not knocking the ball into the net, albeit Dessers' one would have been offside.
Yeah, I think the one from Matondo was the big one. You know, right in the middle of the goal, and he misheads wide of Schmeichel's left-hand post. If they got that early goal, then it might have changed a little bit and changed the crowd and changed the dynamic inside the stadium, but that didn't happen, and Celtic took control of the game. Came
at the end of a good start by Rangers, but seesawed the other way since. But Rangers in possession with Robin Propart just inside the centre circle. He just plays it left to right for Barron, and then out to Czerny over there. Czerny's not got much joy yet down that far side. He's on it now, taking on Maida, back onto his left side. He decides to pass it back to Tavernier, then back onto the halfway line for Suter. Suter short ball to Tavernier, over on the far side, down the line for Czerny. He's got support from Sterling. Now he's at the right angle of the box, low ball in, good blocking by Carter Vickers, and then Hatate clears. Kyogo's gone down. He's had a look at the referee, no free kick coming. And now it's with Connor Barron for Rangers. He plays it short with the outside of the boot to Tavernier.
Yeah, that was the right thing probably that Proper did there, actually getting up tight to Kyogo when Rangers had possession of the ball, and then almost just blocking him off, because if you don't deal with him, he's always on the counter-attack to get into those spaces, and Celtic can exploit you.
Rangers have it with Suter down the line for Sterling. Helps it on its way towards Czerny. The covering player over there is Scales to put it out for a Rangers throw-in. So a more calm minute or two for the visitors this. We're going to throw in about midway inside Celtic territory over in front of the north stand. James Tavernier over it. Looking for an option ahead of him. He gets it in Sterling. It's back with Tavernier. Under pressure from Maida, who pinches it back off him. Again, it's just terrific tenacity from Maida. Given away by Taylor though, and it's Dessers picking it up at the edge of the box. Then Matondo loses out under pressure from Johnston and cleared by Kuhn. Just felt the decision making from Dessers wasn't the best there. He found himself in a really promising area. Could actually potentially had a little strike at goal there, Billy.
Left foot strike, I'm thinking exactly that. Just at the last moment, I think he saw a Celtic defender coming towards him and changed his mind.
And a play for a Celtic throw-in on the near side. Philippe Clement would have been pretty happy with the opening 10 minutes or so. However, it's the Celtic manager delighted, albeit McGregor's just had that nicked off him, and now it's Dessers driving into the penalty area, and he runs into too many defenders. Really, he's actually gone down clutching his nose, I think, and Celtic are able to get it away. Just bundled his way through the ruck of players, but eventually there were just too many bodies in the way, and it stays Celtic 1, Rangers 0, 11 to the break.
Yeah, that was Diamonde on McGregor there, getting close to him, putting him under pressure and winning the ball, and good play.
Yeah, you can see why he's in the team today. He's playing on the Diamonde. He's come in for Tom Lawrence this afternoon. Lawrence scored against Ross County last weekend.
I've been looking at that though, Liam, that duel Pat was talking about, when he's not always stayed on him though.
No. Diamonde and McGregor.
And that discipline, I think, he's not been picked out to go with McGregor for 90 minutes, but just, I think percentage of the time, if you're going to nullify Celtic or have a chance, you've got to be addressing them at some points. That's always not been the case.
Celtic in the lead. A win today, they go back to the top ahead of the first international break of the season. Aberdeen 3 points clear after their late win on Dingwall last night. Later, 3 o'clock, commentary, Hearts Dundee United, with regular updates from Rugby Park as Kilmarnock play Hibernian, and then it's Scotland for the next week or so. Nations League, Scotland-Poland Thursday evening, 7:45 kickoff at Hampden, and then Steve Clarke takes the team to Lisbon next Sunday to face Portugal. Of course, Scotland in League A of the Nations League, and if you want to get a playoff through the Nations League this time around, you need to win your league section. For the World Cup, it's going to be a tall order, you would imagine, particularly given their 1 win in 12 right now. Celtic have it down the left. It all breaks down. That ball down the line for Maida goes out for a Rangers throw-in, which Tavernier takes quickly to Suter. Back to Tavernier, slices a high ball up towards the edge of the centre circle. McGregor gets his head onto it. Barron picks up the scraps here though for Rangers. A heavy touch from Barron that allows Taylor to slide in and make the challenge. A little bit careless from Connor Barron in possession, and Celtic looking to make him suffer here. Kyogo out to Kuhn. Kyogo goes down, challenge from Sterling. Celtic play on, it's a crosser. Johnston! Maida's efforts blocked. It's with Kuhn and Hatate, and he scoops it high and wide across the face of goal. What a chance. 2 bites at it Celtic had there. John Sterling is booked for the challenge, and Kyogo in the build-up. John Beaton allowed a good advantage, and Celtic so close to making it 2. And really, Paki Bonner, I think Rio Hatate is wondering whether he should have made it 2.
Oh, he should have made it 2. It was a good pick out from Kuhn actually, because it was blocked off. His shot was blocked off after the ricochet, and he just picked him out at the back post, and he was sitting there on his own, and he's just got under the ball. He's tried to just bend it round, I think, the goalkeeper, and just put it over the crossbar. There's an injury here.
Tonga's done, huh?
Yeah, it's the second time he's been down, so McCausland will come on. He was going to come on 10 minutes ago. Billy, that should be 2-0.
Yeah, and do you know what? The block come in because Tavernier's in the wrong position again. He's lost Maeda. He gets a bit of luck. It's brilliant play from Celtic to cut it back again. He's just bent round the outside of Tavernier again, Maeda, and Tavernier doesn't see him. He hits a shot, and luckily for Tavernier it hits off him. Some will say it's a good block. I think he got a little bit lucky because he did not pick up the right defensive position, and Rangers got away with one. Then it comes to Hatate, who, if he gets the contact right, probably scores, but puts it over, Pat.
Absolutely, and you would expect from a player of his quality that he would have the contact right, and it would have put Celtic in a very commanding position. But Rangers are still in this game.
Diamonde has it in the midfield, looking to knock it out to McCausland's behind him though, and out for a Celtic throw. So if you're trying to sit out in your back garden on a nice day at this time of year and you're dealing with wasps, it's an absolute nightmare. That is Maeda with Tavernier. He must have nightmares about him. He gives him a hard time every single time he comes up against him.
Do you know what he's got to do when it comes to right in the box, in the 18-yard box? He's got this habit, Tavernier, thinking, get back on my line, that's the right defensive position, and he goes and marks space. What he should do is say, where is he? I'm going to stay with him, and if it cuts back, then it's not my problem. I've got to stay with Maeda, because Maeda lets him go in and then just stays out at times and looks round, and that is Tavernier's problem.
It's an absolute buzz bomb out there, Daisen Maeda. It's his goal that separates the teams, and Celtic are coming forward again. The ball was aimed by Scales for Maeda, but it comes right through to Jack Butland, and we're into the closing stages of the first half here, Packy.
Yeah, I think it was for Hatate actually, and he just went to go and then he checked, and Liam Scales had picked the pass, but that pass in behind is devastating at times for Celtic.
That's what I was going to touch on, Pat, because you're asking the question about Tavernier and Maeda. Higher up, there's no problem if you deep him off, but he deepens off in the 6-yard box.
Here's Kyogo picking up a loose ball, shoots at the edge of the box and scores! That is absolutely magnificent from Kyogo Furuhashi, who once again is slaying Rangers, who are wilting in this pressure cooker at the home of the champions. Kyogo, low, arrowed into the bottom right corner, and he has smashed that past a very fine goalkeeper in the shape of Jack Butland. Celtic taking total control of this derby encounter. It is Celtic 2, Rangers 0, and it's a long old way back for the visitors.
Yeah, listen, it was great play by Greg Taylor, stepping in, winning the ball, and then picking the pass for Kyogo, who came off. We've seen him do that. He can run in behind you, but he can come off in devastating form also. Nobody going with him, allowed him to turn, he could have made the pass, but as typical centre forward, he takes on the responsibility himself and buries it low past Jack Butland down to his left-hand side. I'm not sure if the goalkeeper had any chance with that, Billy, because he had all the time in the world to get his accuracy and his power on the ball, and it goes into the back net. But Celtic and a huge commanding lead in this game.
And when you see the replay of the goal, it's such a cultured finish by Kyogo. It's not a blast. I've probably done it a disservice there. He's used the instep, and he's found that, not quite into the corner, but he's found the net, and Celtic are 2-0 up, and Rangers looking to hit in the counter here, but it comes right through to Kasper Schmeichel.
He's curled it with precision. That's what he's done. Got a bit of pace on it as well. Again, I'll go over it. Rangers cheap giving the ball away. Taylor, brilliant pass, proper deepens, doesn't go with Kyogo, so does Suter, so he sits off him, he turns, and you said that he just bends it with power beyond the goalkeeper, no chance. Brilliant from Celtic, really sloppy from Rangers again.
A new Rangers team, but same old story for them at Celtic Park. And Philippe Clement, a figure of frustration as Celtic come forward. The ball down the left, cut out by Tavernier, who takes it up towards halfway. Looking to turn it out to Sterling. He's giving it away though, and Bernardo's back onto it for Celtic. Along the halfway line, ushers the ball, scooping it out to Nicholas Kuhn on this right-hand side. Up against Jefte. Kuhn fancies his chances. Down to the byline, chops back onto his left side, rolls it back towards the edge of the box. Sterling's touch takes it away from Hatate. Scales gets something onto it, finds Carter Vickers, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, and listen, you know, Celtic have won so many of the second balls today. Really that's been a feature. Bernardo, we talked about him. Could he do the role of Mattarelli? What he's done today really well as he's gone after the ball in that middle of the pitch and won it back, and he's complemented Hatate and McGregor really well.
Rangers need half-time just to catch a breath.
Yeah, remember they were 2-0 down in the 3-3 draw back in April. They were 3-2 down as well. They managed to take a point out of that, but that was at Ibrox. Very different kettle of fish here. Schmeichel, think ball in the midfield for Bernardo, takes it away from McCausland and Barron, and forward to Kuhn, and in field to Hatate, back towards Kuhn. He gets there ahead of Proper. He's claiming he was fouled there. There wasn't much of a touch, but perhaps enough to put Kuhn off. Bernardo wins it back in the midfield. John Beaton waiting there to blow his whistle by the looks of things. Celtic have it though. He's given them an advantage. 2 of the 45 still to play, and Rangers hanging on here. 2-0 down, but there's Kuhn in for Johnston, across the face, and away it goes. Suter, it's a vital touch onto it, and Tavernier nicks in ahead of Maida and manages to get some daylight ahead of him before using the outside of the boot to find Václav Černý. Rangers on the counter, they need the next goal, that is for sure, and it's Černý rolling it to Tavernier. Poor touch from him though, allows Scales to clear at the edge of the box. Then McCausland puts it behind Diamonde and straight to McGregor, who couldn't quite believe his luck. He was onto it as he rolls it back to Johnston, then forward to Callum McGregor again.
It was brilliant play initially from Tavernier, busting out defence, brilliant pass from the outside of the boot away wide, and then Černý picks him back out again. He could have popped off to Dessers, or if he'd taken a better touch, would have probably have drawn the Celtic defender and then slipped him, but his touch was poor right in the last minute, right on the edge of that 18-yard box. Good chance for Rangers.
Kyogo had the ball in the net earlier on. It didn't count, that one very much did, and that is his 8th goal in 15 games against Rangers. He's only got more against Hearts, 9 against them. As Sterling finds Černý, now he's got into the path of Diamonde. Dessers ahead of him, but Scales is there again. He's not put a foot wrong this afternoon, Liam Scales, amidst the threat of the new signing on the bench. Diamonde can't get onto it with Callum McGregor. And Hatate, it's a long ball forward, looking for Kyogo. He's got in behind Suter. Maida, it's going to come to Maida on the left, and he gets his first time ball back to Kyogo, all wrong. Straight to Tavernier. Sliced at it. Sterling was down and wins the free kick. We're in the final minute of the 45. Celtic 2, Rangers 0.
Yeah, that ball in behind again, but that time Maeda, I knew what was in his head there. He could see Kyogo almost running through the middle, and he tried to play it first time, just didn't make the connection. But again, devastating on the counter, Celtic.
That's where Tavernier should deepen though, because they're higher up the pitch. Sorry, Liam. Yeah, I mean, and he does it. He stays high that time and lets Maeda in.
It's a good header by Scales out to Taylor on the far side. If Scales continues to play like this, Packy, Aaron Trusty might have a longer wait to get into the team than he'd hoped for.
Yeah, listen, I think it's probably good for Liam also that there is somebody here. Celtic,
another long ball, Maida, he's in behind Tavernier. That is par for the course really in that duel. And Maida to the edge of the box, Bernardo onto his left side, into the area, looking to make it 3, and Butland holds on. He didn't catch the shot. Big opportunity for Celtic to score a 3rd in first half stoppage time. Rangers being ravaged here. It is Celtic 2, Rangers 0, and Paulo Bernardo really should have made it 3.
Yeah, save from Butland, but it was really good play. Again, ball over the top. Maeda was so far beyond Tavernier. It was almost about 10 yards he had on him, which was quite incredible. And then it was picking out that ball where the midfield goal support really quickly. Bernardo using good feet and gets himself into a great position. He just couldn't get the ball past Butland to make it 3. But Celtic just
Maeda's difficult to play against, right? We know that, but see when there's no pressure on the ball, when there wasn't, to hit that diagonal to Maeda, in fact it was straight down the line. Tavernier doesn't know where man and ball is. He should know both. He should say, there he's there, there's the ball, no pressure on it, I'm deepening. What he does is just stare at the ball, and Maeda just pops a yard short and then spins, and he's done every time.
Rangers just can't handle this. Nobody in Scotland really can handle this right now. As Tavernier picks up, just on this basis, there's still that chasm between the two as Sterling's ball across the halfway line's cut out and Celtic have it back, but they won it back. A combination of Sterling and Barron have Rangers, and it's now with Tavernier over on the far side. But in the last of 3 minutes that were added on at the end of the first half, Suter, short ball to the halfway line for Barron, then back to Suter, trying to run away from Hatate over to this near side. He finds Jefte up the line from McCausland. Good play by McCausland this time, but Johnston is even better. Thought he got round him there, but the Canadian stood his ground, and Celtic have it back with Hatate. Out to the right for Kuhn. The Celtic fans in the main stand rise, but Kuhn doesn't match the expectation and gives it away, and it's Diamonde with a long ball forward looking for Cyril Dessers. Scales with the challenge, he's got it back to Schmeichel, who sweeps it clear first time with Dessers lurking, and it's picked up in the midfield by Barron. One back by Kuhn, but here's Sterling. Rangers with just a few seconds left to try and register on the scoreboard and give themselves a platform. It's Václav Černý on that right-hand side, looking to get the ball in the middle perhaps, short to Tavernier. Low ball to Dessers, Černý going after it, but it's seen back to the keeper by Greg Taylor. And John Beaton blows for half-time, and Celtic Park arises for their heroes, because they're putting Rangers to the sword here once again in the east end of the city. Kyogo had the ball in the net early on, it didn't count. That after a promising start by the visitors. It was ruled out for offside after a VAR check that went against Nicholas Kuhn. But from that moment on, Celtic took total control of this game. Maida giving them the lead on 17 as he stroked home, having managed to get away from Tavernier. Brilliant work by Celtic down the right-hand side, and by Alistair Johnston in particular from the byline. He pulled it across. Maida scored. He took his tally to 3 for the season. Kyogo thought he'd scored his first goal of the season early on before the VAR check. He did eventually get it as the game went into the final 5 minutes of the first half. A really fine finish from the edge of the area into the bottom right corner of the net. Rangers punch drunk as they headed up the tunnel at half-time. Celtic in total control, and at half-time at Celtic Park, it is the champions who lead by 2-0.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
When he spoke to us before the game, the Celtic manager, Brendan Rodgers, said we just need to go out and be us, which is exactly what they have done. And like the rest of the season so far, right the way through, dominant. And in particular, the first half's absolutely dominant, and they're 2-0 up against Rangers. Plenty of reaction and assessment to come. It has been a better afternoon thus far for the Rangers women, who are 7-0 up away to Dundee United. Will be going 2 points clear at the top of SWPL 1. Currently, with half an hour left of that game, their goal difference stands at 40 goals for, 0 against, having played, 4 2/3 matches. So it's been a dominant start to the campaign. It's Hearts 1, Motherwell 0, the latest score. Partick Thistle 0, Aberdeen 1, and Spartans 0, Glasgow City 0. Of course, Celtic and Hibernian played on Friday night and finished 0-0. There's a 4 o'clock kickoff between Queen's Park and Montrose. Remember, highlights of all the matches on the BBC Scotland channel tomorrow night at 7. The SWPL highlights programme. The Sports Scene programme will be on tonight at 7:15 on the same channel. Highlights from yesterday, highlights from the 3 o'clock games, Hearts against Dundee United, Kilmarnock, Hibernian, and of course, highlights from the match that we are currently bringing you live from Celtic Park, where the champions are 2-0 up against Rangers. 2 early chances for Rangers. Dessers with a weak shot, and Matondo heading well wide. I know the guys pointed out that the flag had gone up for the first one. I think the second one, even if he'd scored, would have been ruled out as well. It looked as if Matondo was offside as Tavernier crossed the ball in. From that point onwards, it has, Tom English, been another case of utter Celtic domination, hasn't it?
Yeah, completely, yeah. I mean, that Matondo one, that was in the 10th minute, and Rangers have been chasing shadows ever since then. And this Celtic performance, and it's an exceptional Celtic performance. It's rooted in hard work. because every time Rangers get the ball, Celtic's work rate in getting back into position and hounding them out of possession is unbelievable. And Rangers have nowhere to go. Every time they get the ball, they look up. All they can see is Celtic jerseys. So they give it away, and then Celtic's dynamism has been exceptional. Their ability to feed off Rangers' mistakes is extraordinary. They're like vultures. And they've got the quality, and we talk about Maeda out wide and doing a number on Tavernier. Nicholas Kuhn on the other side of the pitch has been excellent. McGregor has been pulling the strings in the middle of the park. Kyogo had 8 touches in the ball before he scored. You know, Desser's had more. But that's all he needs is a touch, and that was the game in microcosm. The Rangers give the ball away. Celtic are so quick. Speed of thought, speed of movement, and they find the space. And yes, Butland has left so much space. I mean, Butland does not do well there. But Kyogo's finish is just class. He plants it in the corner. And this is a brilliant Celtic performance. And Rangers are lucky it's only 2-0.
Yeah, look, we talked about the midfield. Celtic obviously generally dominant there, in particular Callum McGregor dominant there. And Rangers needed to be completely on top of it. There was a moment there, a couple of moments in actual fact, where it was Conor Barron twice. At first caught out, Celtic break, and Haddadi should have scored. And then within a couple of minutes, he's a little bit short with a pass. Taylor is more alert than the Rangers player, jumps in, takes it, and then that's the pass that leads to Kyogo. And those are just examples of Celtic overrunning Rangers in that part of the pitch, and isn't it, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And when I say it's the speed of thought, like Taylor sees the pass is short, he's onto it, and he makes the right decision, and he does it very, very quickly. Kyogo finds the space, turns very, very quickly, dispatches the ball to the net. Like it's all breakneck speed with Celtic, and the tempo, the throw-ins are fast, the kick-outs are fast, everything is fast, furious tempo, and this is just, there's streets ahead of Rangers, absolutely streets ahead of them.
It might have been worse, Tom. I mean, the goal, the Kyogo goal that was disallowed in the 11th minute, Kuhn, if he hasn't leaned just quite as far forward, because I think his feet were onside, but he's just kind of leaned a little bit, and the top of his chest or round about that area is just ahead of the last Rangers player, but they're in big chances thereafter.
They have, yeah. I mean, you know, made a shot blocked. Hatate should score just straight afterwards.
Bernardo,
you know, they've had some amount of moments. I mean, they could be 4 up, and I just think this is to me. This is a throwback to Celtic 2016, 2017, Rodgers' first season, because it's so ruthless, it's so quick. This is and maybe Pete Postecoglou too. I think this is a really, really substantial Celtic performance, and they're winning all the physical battles as well. On top of the football battles, which the Celtic players are just better physically. Alistair Johnston is muscling people off the ball. You know, it's. I think just that they're winning in every department.
I've got to say, for about 10 minutes, I thought, well, actually, Rangers are doing better against this Celtic team than any other side. I've covered the 5 games so far. As Liam said in commentary, they've been ahead within 17 minutes of each of those. It's taken them that long against both Kilmarnock and Rangers, but it's 3 or 4 minutes in the games against Hibs and St Mirren. But it's been a similar pattern, and beyond that 10-minute mark, it has been exactly the same pattern in terms of Celtic utterly dominant and taking a real grip on a game in the opening 45 minutes. They haven't necessarily gone on and pressed that. They've got a couple second-half goals against Kilmarnock, but this is one match where you figure that they will absolutely keep the pedal pushed down as hard as they possibly can, won't they?
Well, I mean, you know, we've said that before. We said that before 3 times last season. We said it before. True. You know, they were 2-0 up, and they didn't, and Rangers came back into it, and we couldn't see Rangers coming back into those games, especially since one of them, Lundstrom, was sent off. But they came back. So I hesitate to say that Rangers are done, because of last season. We see there is a bit of fight in this team, although this is a different team. But Celtic in this form, if Celtic keep playing like this will go to 4. Easily, this will go to 4, because they're just so sharp, they're so slick, and if they keep up this standard, this could be a brutal afternoon for Rangers.
It's a first goal of the season for Kyogo. It's a third for Dyson Maeda and Pat Bonner. When you made your way along the stadium this afternoon, you'd have been, from a Celtic point of view, dreaming of a performance like this, wouldn't you?
Yeah, listen, Rangers started off and they tried to press. Obviously from the kick-off, they put the ball into Celtic's half, they pushed players further forward, and they kept Celtic pinned in for probably about 5-10 minutes. Celtic stuck to their what they do well and just passed the ball around and tried to build the game from the back. And our Rangers were getting a little bit of joy to get their chance, but after that, Celtic and they were so devastating on the counter-attack. Thomas described it well: energy, pace, speed of thinking, quality on the ball. They absolutely destroyed Rangers from probably halfway inside their own pitch right up to the goal line. They exploited those spaces really, really quickly and sharp, and they've got players with Maeda, Kyogo. You've seen them on the wide areas, Alistair Johnson overlapping or on the inside. Kuhn then taking guys on, so they've got those players and that, but they've been very, very comfortable and playing that style. We've seen them in the past maybe play a style where they've had more of the ball and they could pass it around and waiting for the moment, but today it was about exploiting space, and they did it so well, and I don't think any team can live with it.
Well, Billy, Rangers did for about 10 minutes, didn't they? And then the inevitable seemed to happen.
Yeah, 9-10 minutes I've got, and they just can't sustain it, and that's down to Celtic. They have been devastating. I think Tom used the word brutally ruthless is the words that would describe Celtic in every department. Rangers then go into panic mode. 1-on-1 battles all over the pitch. It's the biggest roasting I've seen Tavernier take in a long time from Maeda, not just because of the goal and his positioning, but it's always a coaching point, Richard. When there's no pressure on the ball, he has got to deepen when it's building from higher up the pitch, and he doesn't. He just stares at the ball, and Maeda just leaves him for dead because he just pops a yard forward and then spins, and he doesn't know what to do with it. When they get in the box from cutbacks, what he does is deepen onto the line when he shouldn't, when he should just stay with his man. He should definitely mark the man rather than space. Gets it all wrong. I did say at the start, I don't know if this back four can keep clean sheets. That's been borne out. And then Celtic have just grown into, I said, the machine that they've been, and they are so confident. And I also said, like, if Rangers could get through the first half hour, then I don't think it'd be 3 or 4-0. Well, it could be now, because they have, as I say, into panic mode, lost all discipline, and they looked as if they were just desperate, and I mean desperate, to get that half-time whistle. So we'll see how they come out, and it's the old adage, isn't it? No more goals, or the next goal is so important, because if Celtic win this handsomely, Rangers, I don't know where they are going forward in terms of confidence, as individuals, as a unit, as a club, just might disappear, because it's shown the gap between the two sides even this early in the season.
Yeah, Richard, just a point. We talked about all Celtic's great players. We didn't mention Paulo Bernardo. I thought he's had an excellent first half. Not so much. Yeah, he had that chance with Butland, but almost his work off the ball when he lost it. He was the one that went and pressed the ball in the middle of the pitch, counter-pressed it really, really well. And I haven't seen that in his game before. And now maybe he's got a lease of life with Matt O'Reilly going, that he's taken on the mantle. I'm going to get in that team and I'm going to show people what I can do. So he's been excellent in that first half.
That full midfielder said to you, Richard, if you dominate that, you feed your front players and they cause havoc, or your defence is not under pressure. That's the way it's played out for Celtic. The Rangers put that press on from by kicks, got a wee bit of joy, created a couple of chances, and the other side they've worked on was building from the back, and Celtic didn't quite know in the first 10 minutes where they were at. But it's all the bits in between that, right, okay then, I've given you that, I can only give you so much knowledge, I don't want to flood your mind, is the way Philippe, Clement have been saying to him. But you need to do your bit now, go out as individuals, win your battles, and then from there dominate your areas. But that has not happened. Celtic have just blown them away after that 10 minutes.
Tom, you spoke beforehand about the pressure, even this early, mounting on Philippe Clement. Should the Rangers take a thumping at Celtic Park this afternoon. This is will have been a massive 15 minutes half-time interval for him, isn't he, as he tries to somehow get his players back regrouped again.
Yeah, like he has to try and come up with something that makes them competitive in this second half, to make a game of it, like he's done and he's done it before. So let's see what he comes up with. But I think he's playing against a Celtic team that's playing better in that first half than they played against Rangers in any game last season. They're more relentless, they're more ruthless than I've seen them for quite a while. So he's got his work cut out to stop this becoming an absolute rout. If he makes a game of it and they lose, fair enough. You know, Rangers will have shown a bit of steel, he'll have shown a bit of something to arrest the impending kind of crisis. But if Celtic carry on and Rangers are as vulnerable as they are, wow, it could be, the recriminations here could be pretty swift.
Well, you can hear the announcement in the background there to welcome Celtic back to the pitch. Remember, 2 more matches this afternoon, 3 o'clock kickoffs. Come on, against Hibernian and Hearts against Dundee United. Regular updates from Rugby Park, full live commentary from Tynecastle, and highlights of all 6 Premiership matches on Sports Scene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. We'll keep you across everything that is happening. We'll be across the SWPL scores as well. Update all that for you a little bit later. Right now, let's settle back and enjoy full live second half commentary from Celtic Park. Celtic very much in command against Rangers as we return to Billy Dodds, Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod.
Well, in that first half, Celtic managed to continue this excellent scoring run they're on. They've scored at least twice in each of their last 13 league games now, going back to last season, and that 2-0 defeat in Edinburgh against Hearts as Celtic at the second half underway, right to left in the green and white hoops. Rangers in their blue and white, as you would expect from these two, and Celtic going right to left, attacking the Jockstein stand. Then Rangers shooting east. No changes for Celtic and no further changes for Rangers as Celtic give it away early on here, and Dessers trying to pick it up inside the box. Poor touch, allows Carter Vickers in to clear. Just little moments like that, the quality needs to be better from Rangers if they are indeed to make a game of this one. Rangers would, of course, to bring McCausland on for Matondo in that first half. Schmeichel in goal for Celtic. Johnston, Carter Vickers, Scales, Taylor, Bernardo, McGregor, Hatate, Kuhn, and the goal scorers Maidan, Kyogo. Rangers and Butland in goal. Tavernier, Suter, Proper, Jeffrey, Sterling, Barron, Matondo, Cherney, McCausland and Dessers. And it is Rangers on the ball. Conditions the same, just a slight breeze in the air, grey skies above. Start of autumn. Packy Bonner.
Yeah, it was a little chance for Rangers there. Liam Scales giving the ball away, picking the wrong pass, I would say, into midfield and trying to trust Hatate, but he was so man-marked, and it just gave Dessers a little chance to pick up good possession, and ended up. And what you don't want at the very start is give Rangers a lifeline. That's for sure. You know, you want to settle into the game, get your decision making right, and keep that ball flowing so that you can kind of settle into the second half.
Yeah, well, you think back to that game at the early knock-ins of April when Rangers were 2-0 down at half-time to Maida and O'Reilly's penalty. As Rangers come forward, Dessers picks it up at the left-hand side of the box. A weak effort at goal, though. He Cherney up there as well. It needs to be much better from Dessers when he finds himself in that position. Celtic were under serious threat there. It's been a sloppy start to the second half, actually, by Celtic as McGregor comes forward up to halfway. Picks up Billy Dodge. What a chance there for Dessers.
No conviction, slaps it straight to the goalkeeper. I mean, it's not good enough.
Here comes Celtic up the other end. Johnston to Kuhn. Well, it's a kind of cross-come shot which goes straight to Butland, who controls with his hands in the near post.
Yeah,
it's in his gloves. Packy.
You know, at half-time came at the wrong time for Celtic. They were flying. The tempo was good. There was a flow to their play. There's 3 chances now, three situations there. Scales giving the ball away in midfield, Bernardo giving the ball away, getting caught in it, and even there, Kuhn getting into a great position and plays that ball into Jack Butland's hands. Those small details, they didn't do that in the first half.
From a Rangers point of view, once you get there, you've got to be clinical, you've got to show conviction, crisp. get a good strike away, even if it's straight at the goalkeeper, but it wasn't. And the one before, his touch was so poor that it just put it back to the defender.
Yeah, for them, it's all very well doing it last week, but they needed to take it into this week as well.
Big games.
Yeah, here is Greg Taylor for Celtic, scampering across the halfway line. Midway inside the Rangers half, he finds Hatate. Barron comes to meet him. Hatate simply turns away from him and passes it back to McGregor, and now it's with Johnston. Out to Kuhn on the touchline, level with the 18-yard line. Now he's level with the penalty spot, now he's level with the 6, and he wins the corner.
Yeah, better play, but I'm just watching Tierney going and pressing Liam Scales there, but there was such a gap between himself and the rest of the Rangers team. He would be far better off going at top, because he took himself right out of the game and allowed Greg Taylor to run probably 30 yards up the pitch. But they were so deep there, Rangers, they were never going to help him out when he went and pressed.
Bernardo's going to take this one, outswinger with the right foot over on that far side, the Celtic right. They attack the goal to our left, into the 6-yard box. Scales was the header, and Kyogo was there as well. He was unable to turn it home at the back post. The final flick might have come from Maida, but Kyogo wasn't able to get anything onto it, and Rangers get away with one there, because as soon as that first header was won, you thought number 3 was arriving.
Yeah, he just got early, Kyogo trying to get across the defender, and the ball just ended up.
Brilliant skill down the right by Kuhn to get away from Proper, turns it back to the edge of the box. Bernardo shows too much of it to Diamonde, and Rangers able to get it clear out to the far side, but Carter Vickers gets there ahead of Dessers and then just brushes him aside, strides forward. He is an absolute machine, Cameron Carter Vickers there, but he's upset his manager because he took it too far, he waited too long before passing, gives it away, and in the end it's going to be a Rangers free kick over on the far side. Don't see Brendan Rodgers upset with his players too often. He was on that occasion.
By the way, he's got to be careful, Diamandi. He wants he's already been booked and he's getting pulled there, but he's straight to John Beaton, and he's pulled Tavernier over John Beaton and said tell him to be quiet. He's gone off because Diamandi was at John Beaton. He wanted, I think it was Carter Vickers, whoever pulled him down. There was 2 or 3 Celtic players there. He wanted him booked, and he's had to pull his captain, saying, look, you don't speak to me, you're on a book, and going to get that message to him. I'm going to have to put him off the pitch.
John Beaton wants to speak to Carter Vickers as well. This is the 7th Celtic Rangers game for the man in the middle today. His last one was that 3-3 draw, which I was talking about earlier. Celtic were 2-0 up at the break. It was Tavernier's penalty, 10 into the second half, that gave Rangers a chance there. First equaliser didn't come until 86 in that match. There's a flurry of late goals as Rangers are awarded a free kick for a foul on Diamande over on the far side. And it's midway inside the Celtic half, slightly left to centre. Chance to attack the box though. Proper and Suter are up for it.
Diamande's been Rangers' most energetic player. He's not played brilliantly, but I don't think that's his position. I really don't. He just fades in and out the game there. He's not quick enough on the turn. He can use his energy to win the game in front of him away, a bit like the way maybe Barron does at times, but still out there, still trying to put it on.
Here comes the free kick. It's not a bad one either. Comes off the head of Johnston. Proper gets his head onto it and then headed away from goal by, I think it was Dessers. Sterling was in there as well. Celtic get it away. Barron picks up on this near side, angles it out to McCausland, heads it back to Proper, gets it back out to McCausland, taking on Johnston, forced back the way, rolls it to Václav Černý. Černý then goes through the gears, down the left, gets the ball across, it's knocked for goal by Suter, and then Carter Vickers puts it behind for the corner. John Suter's got his head in his hands, he's right about the penalty spot when he knocked that towards goal, and he has to settle for the corner. It stays 2-0 Celtic, but Rangers have forced the issue since the break.
Yeah, that was a good chance for him, and Suter did everything right. He just held his position, his composure. He's got a good side foot on it, but it was a great block from Liam Scales, and if that had to go on target, I think it would have been
Tavernier with it, the back post, headed off the post by Suter. The referee blows anyway. Dessers has ended up poleaxed on the deck. He's just getting himself back to his feet now. Suter was at the back post there. He scored in this fixture before. Last time Rangers won it, actually. But he couldn't divert that on goal, but the whistle was going anyway, I think, and it stays 2-0 to the home team.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Kasper Schmeichel there. Did he lose his footing, but he went to ground and the goal was opened, and all it needed was a decent header back on target, and it was in the back of the net. But yeah, that was a couple of chances now for Rangers, a couple of mistakes from Celtic, and has allowed this game to maybe be a little bit more competitive.
Taylor on the near side, up the line for Maida, midway inside his own half, back to Taylor. It's a risky ball that from Taylor, but Bernardo got there ahead of McCausland to force it back into his own box for Carter Vickers, who rolls it out to Johnston on the far side. Johnston then taking it infield, midway inside his own half, rolls it to Scales to his left. Scales with the long ball with the left foot, looking for Maida. He's in behind Tavernier again. Suter coming out to meet him. Maida, left hand side of the box, disguises the ball for Hatate, left hand side of the 6-yard area, up against Tavernier. Hatate still has it. He's been moved away from goal by Tavernier, and Hatate's ball to McGregor goes straight to the Rangers captain, who plays it off McGregor and out for a Rangers throw-in on the near side. It remains 2-0 to Celtic. Rangers enjoying their best spell in the game since the opening 10 minutes of the encounter, but they've yet to really test Kasper Schmeichel.
Tavernier caught again, though, no pressure on Scales, and he just stares at the ball again, and Scales just punts it over the top of him. Maeda spins and Celtic are on the attack.
Speaking of spinning, Bernardo's done likewise against Diamande in the centre circle. Comes forward, rolls it out to Hatate on this near side. Hatate facing Sterling, he's threaded it through to Maida, he's in behind Tavernier again, and then he slips as he tries to put it across. As Paggy says, he lost his balance as he made his way towards goal, left-hand side of the box, and he goes the wrong side of the post and behind for a goal kick. And again, Daizen Maida is just ghosting away from Tavernier time and time again.
I'm just looking at Billy shaking his head every single time. That's been twice now in succession that the ball's just played in behind him, and he's left Tavernier by 4 or 5 yards, and really there was that was a big chance for Maeda. If he just hadn't to lose his balance, he could have slid that ball across the 6-yard box, but the space behind Tavernier, he's not dealing with it, as you mentioned at half-time, Billy.
He looks like a punch-drunk boxer. Get me out of here.
Suter's giving it away. Hatate put too much pressure on it. Maida comes down the left, the ref blows for the free kick. The Celtic fans unhappy because they felt there was an advantage there for them down this near side. They're going to have to make do with the free kick, which they are normally at pains to take quickly. Let's go quickly to Andy Bart. Movement on the Rangers bench.
Yeah, Philippe Clement is about to bring on Tom Lawrence, so clearly the Rangers manager thinks he needs to shake things up at the start of the second half, so Tom Lawrence stripped and ready to go. 10
into the second half. Celtic free kick as they look for a third and what would surely be killer goal. They've taken it low to the left there for Taylor, but again John Beaton's obviously not ready. Taylor was in acres of space on the left-hand side of the box. They're so inventive with the set plays, aren't they, Celtic?
Yeah, but that's Rangers not picking anybody up, and I'm surprised that he actually pulled that one back, because you know what was happening there, that Celtic committed an error by taking it quick.
Well,
didn't see it.
Bernardo's going to bend it in with the right foot towards the back post area. It's flicked behind for a corner by Tavernier over on that right-hand side. Rangers had the best of the opening 10 minutes of the first half. They've the best of the opening 10 minutes of the second. But Celtic now have a corner as they hunt down a third goal, which would surely put this tie to bed. And what a seismic victory it will be, and it's odds on that's what's going to happen. Even this early in the season, before the first international break of the campaign, and you've got plenty of time to stew on it. Short corner, Kuhn has it, rolls it to the edge of the D area for Hatate, decides to go back the other way, just to the annoyance of the Celtic fans, even though they're 2-0 up. And then the ball passed straight out of the pitch by Callum McGregor over on the far side. That right there, it's a bit of a collector's item. It will be Diamande who's coming off here for Rangers by all accounts. Lawrence will replace him. That was the alteration, or one of the alterations in the starting 11 for Rangers this afternoon. And Diamande, who's, the guys were saying in the second half, was probably one of the more energetic Rangers players, but he's obviously run his race. And on comes Tom Lawrence.
I think that's to save him from being sent off, Liam. It was on a knife edge. You could say the same for Dujon Stillen. He's been booked, but not been in trouble with the ref, and I think it was a matter of needs must.
Get him out the ref's road. Yeah, here's Bannon for Rangers, gets it out to Czerny, tosses it down the touchline there towards Tavernier. Scales with the challenge, and now it's with Callum McGregor who goes down. That's going to be a free kick to Celtic down on this near side.
Yeah, Yeah, well, listen, Tom Lawrence, good on the ball. We know that he can create, and he can maybe, there's a goal in him the odd time. And his fresh legs got into that position, but can he deal now again with McGregor? Can McGregor be the one that's going to be dictating how Celtic play in this remainder of the second half?
Tough couple of games for Rangers either side of the international break. This one here, they then go to Tannadice to take on a reborn Dundee United after the Scotland games are out of the way. Difficult couple of away games, and you know, they were notorious for dropping points on their travels last season, because in the home table they were only 2 points worse off than Celtic. It was the damage was done on the road. 7 of their 19 games, the Celtic come forward through ball. Kyogo right hand side, chips the goalkeeper, and he finds the side net only. Oh, he's furious with himself, and that was a chance to kill the game. He's put it past. That gone in, it's magnificent finishing, that Kyogo's off target. Stays Celtic 2, Rangers 0, almost on 59.
Big chance, wasn't it? So little, and again that came from that sort of counter press from Celtic, and then Kyogo, as soon as they won the ball, you could see what was on his mind. He's racing through beyond. Was it Proper that was trying to pick him up? No pace.
Yeah, Suter tried to stand as well. The two of them were there, they just couldn't deal with him. Should have been 3-0. I mean, once he's through, if he just gets the right finish, it's 3-0.
Yeah.
The second half's gone very much. The first Rangers were good for the first 10 minutes or so, creating a few opportunities, and Celtic are slowly building in, bang, to get a chance, and nearly get a third.
Ball back to Barron for Rangers, just inside his own half, left in the centre circle. These two found out who they're going to be facing in Europe. Mouth-watering Europa League set of fixtures for Rangers, that's for sure. Celtic will fancy their chances in their Champions League campaigns. Carter Vickers slides in, beats Desser Stewart. It's the edge of the D of his own box with Bernardo on this near side, and then back to Taylor. Yes, Celtic starting in Slovan Bratislava. Rangers against Malmo in the Europa League. Some terrific fixtures in about that. And we've got news of a Celtic change, Andy.
Yes, the Celtic fans are about to see a debut for Arne Engels. He's about to come on for Bernardo.
Spent a lot of money on Engels. It's up there with the kind of money they spent on Edouard. I noticed went off to Leicester City despite being mildly linked to the return here in the latter part of the window. Here is Tavernier to Czerny, and then back to Lawrence. Lawrence out to Tavernier, level with the edge of the D. It's come off at Hattey, out for a throw-in. Brendan Rodgers turns as soon as I look at his new signing. We're desperate to bring the Belgian to the club. He knows both Nicolas Raskin and the Rangers manager Philippe Clement, having come through the Club Brugge academy. He was at Augsburg in Germany up until a couple of days ago, but he's there wearing the number 27, ready to come on, getting some last encouragement from both John Kennedy and Brendan Rodgers as Barron picks up and squares it to Suter. Out to Tavernier on this near side. Tavernier's early ball, looking for Dessers. Dessers can't get onto it, McCausland does, and he puts it high over the bar. And that will be a goal kick to Celtic, who will make the change now, and there will be a Celtic Park welcome for Aaron Engels, who's going to replace Paulo Bernardo. And sure, Paki Bonner will be quite excited to see what this young man can provide this Celtic team. He's essentially been brought in as Matt O'Reilly's replacement, so big shoes to fill.
Yeah, it is big, but Bernardo's played really well in this game, I've got to say. Even I think in the second half he had that little mistake on the ball, maybe tired legs, but this is a young man coming in here. He comes here with a bit of a pedigree, and let's see what he can do. He looks quite strong, he looks a decent height about him, and can he now, let's see what he can do. I don't know much about him, Billy. I'm not sure if you know anything about him either.
Arne Engels is on, and an immediate chance to impress. He's only 20, Belgian under-21 international, and he had 18 months at Augsburg. He helped finish 11th in the German Bundesliga last season, and already he's chasing the ball forward. It's a long one, but it comes right through to Jack Butland, who holds on already. You can see he's got plenty of pace.
Yeah, well, the important thing there was that he's seen the vision. He had the vision to see the space when Kyogo comes short, and the space was there, and he's gone over the top, which I like to see in those type of players higher up the pitch, that he actually not alone can get on the ball, but he can run beyond people too.
Signed a 4-year deal here. He's trying to track Dessers at the moment in the midfield. Dessers finds Lawrence. He's got Jeffrey to his left. That's where the pass goes. Jeffrey first time. McCausland puts it wide. Well, that looked like there was a decent opportunity for Ross McCausland. He's slightly left of centre on the 6-yard line. He's not caught it at all well, and it's almost gone out for a throw-in. It's that far wide. It stays Celtic 2, Rangers 0 on 63.
Charlie's not happy. He thinks maybe he should call him though and say leave it. You can still see him remonstrating with McCausland just now. I think McCausland's on the stretch, opening up the body with the right foot from the cut-back cross. But Cherny's coming onto it with the left foot, favoured foot. Should have left it, it might have been 2-1, but McCausland just gets a little flick on it. It takes it well wide of the goal. Great chance gone.
Yeah, that's a number of chances now for Rangers in the second half, and that'll give them a little bit more confidence. And if they get a goal back, then they're always in the game.
You're listening to Sports Sound here on BBC Radio Scotland, across the frequencies, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. 2 3 o'clock kickoffs to come. Heart of Midlothian against Dundee United is the commentary match. At 3, Kilmarnock Hibs. Also, you'll get regular updates of that one. bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland for the live text. Highlights this evening on Sports Scene, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland TV channel. Rangers have it in the midfield with Dujon Sterling, who knocks it out to Tavernier on this near side. Suter, square ball to Proper. His brother Davy, once upon a time, was on the books at Brighton, Dutch internationalist. Tavernier picks up on the near side. Sterling can't keep it in play, and Celtic have a throw-in right in front of the Rangers dugout. Callum McGregor will leave it for Taylor.
Yeah, if anything, just the intensity's gone out a little bit from the Celtics game in this second half. They were doing things so quickly and so sharp early on in the first half. They just struggled to find that momentum, I think, in this second half.
Yeah, but they've got a 2-goal lead, and the onus isn't on them, is it? As much as the Celtic supporters would like Rangers to be ground to dust this afternoon here. That's knocked out to Kuhn. They can flicker into life at a moment's notice, and here comes Nicholas Kuhn driving forward to the underlapping Johnston. His cross is cut out and breaks to Kuhn at the right angle of the area. Back to McGregor, left-footed ball to the right-hand side of the box. It's Johnston. Oh, and Butland forced into a more dramatic save than he was expecting in his near post as he puts it behind for the corner.
Yeah, it was a deflection. I think it came off proper in that sort of almost corner of the 6-yard box, and it forced Jack Butland into a good reaction save to keep the side in it.
I think it was a good job at deflecting, because I think Maeda had the run in Tavernier again to get on at first and probably score, so Butland was able to make the save because of that deflection.
Arnie Engels will take the corner over on that far side. Right-footed outswinger, the Celtic right, and it comes. It's not the worst delivery, it's headed half away. Still an opportunity for Kuhn. His effort's blocked, he's gone down in the follow-up challenge. Goes out for a throw-in on the far side, but it's going to be a Rangers throw-in, and John Beaton just stopping play to make sure that Nicholas Kuhn is okay. It didn't look like the best of landings there.
That's exactly why it was there. It was Tom Lawrence closing him down, and
yeah, Dessers has been booked dodgy.
Yeah. Because they're at the ref again, frustration, but it was Tom Lawrence closing him down, and he just made a back and couldn't hit the strike. It goes over the shoulders, and it was more the landing, as you said.
I haven't seen too much dissent. Of course, the refereeing world is clamping down on mobbing these days, as was notable at the European Championship finals in the summer. But it is something that has been adopted by the SFA in this country. But okay, just a few weeks into the season, we haven't seen too many examples of that. So the players towing the line, only the captains speak to the referee when it comes to those contentious moments. Proper clears for Rangers. Tavernier gets it under control. Low ball forward to Dessers, passes it back to Sterling. Now to Czerny over on this near side, though the intended pass was for Tavernier. It's Czerny looking to reverse it to Sterling. Well read by Taylor. and then Enkels goes down. The referee eventually gives the free kick. The Celtic man's down, but once more the Celtic fans are irate, as is Callum McGregor. It's a yellow card for Tom Lawrence because Celtic were away in a counter there, and they clearly felt there should have been an advantage given by John Beaton.
Yeah, it could have. Listen, he felt maybe that there was more of an injury to the young man. Maybe that's why he's pulled it up, you know.
He was pointing to a head knock, wasn't he? That's what he was saying, John Beaton. I think that was to maybe get him off.
But yeah, when we're sitting up here watching the flow of the game, obviously Hatate was gone. He was in this great space, and he had that pace high up the pitch in front of him that he could have exploited. But anyway, listen, the booking goes to Tom Lawrence.
Yeah, and if it's a head knock, then you have to stop the game immediately. Let's get news of another change for Celtic, I think it is, Andy Burke.
Yeah, James Forrest is getting stripped to come on for his 500th Celtic appearance. He's sure to get a great reception. Nicholas Kuhn, the man who's going to make way.
It's just going to... You wouldn't back against James Forrest, breaking all the records this season. There's another one. Hitting the 500 mark is a special moment for him personally, but of course he's targeting becoming the most decorated player in this club's history at the end of this campaign. Celtic with Hatate's ball through, cut out by Jefte. He's now in a central position, driving forward for Rangers, out to Czerny on the near side. We are on 69 minutes. Celtic 2, Rangers 0. There's Barron for Tavernier. Manages to find Jefte on this near side. Back to Barron. On the right-hand side, he's still got Tavernier. To Czerny, then to Tavernier. Now infield, Jefte's found himself in a central position again. Finds Sterling. Then out to Barron. Barron knocking it out to Czerny. It's good build-up play by Rangers this. It's Czerny at the right angle of the box. He's on the left foot. Tries to overcook it though, back on the right, and allows Taylor in to make the challenge. Header from Proper finds Barron. His ball forwards straight to Celtic though, and now it's Kyogo. Wonderful touch away from John Souttar, looking to knock it through to Kuhn. It's not a good ball though, and it's right through to Butland at the edge of his box, and he smashes it high and away, and it stays Celtic 2, Rangers 0. And all it needed really, Packy, was Kyogo just popping that into the path of Nicholas Kuhn, and he was one-on-one with Butland.
His first touch was fantastic too. Just sold Souttar an unbelievable. He's come in too quick, Souttar anyway. He knows he's up against Kyogo, and his touch was brilliant. But his other pass, second pass.
It's another chance for Kyogo outside of the boot. Ball's found him. He's on the right-hand side, looking for support at the moment. He's at the right angle of the box. Johnston's got up to help. Kyogo, his effort across goals blocked by Souttar. Jefte's touch on the far side. Jefte goes down, he's won the free kick, and the yellow card's going to come out for Nicholas Kuhn, I think, over on the far side.
Just looking at Kyogo also, you know, that's a couple of times now I've seen him going to almost stretch, and maybe it's time that they took him off and replaced him with Adamida. But he's so quick, so sharp, and he's got his goal. And every time somebody gets the ball, he's always looking to run in behind or come short. He's always on the move.
It's now back with Butland, who plays it short to Souttar, into his own box. And it's shifted out to Robin Proper, who goes back to his goalkeeper. Celtic still comfortably ahead at 2-0. James Forrest continues to wait on the touchline. Long ball, Tavernier. Sterling chases it. Should be Schmeichel's. He's going to try and see it behind, and he has done for the goal kick. And of course, Brendan Rodgers would have signed up for a 2-0 victory before a ball was kicked today. So if we don't get any more goals, I don't think he'll be too disappointed, but he's making the change here with James Forrest replacing Kuhn, booked a moment ago. And real energetic performance from the German winger today, Packy.
Yeah, he's been very good, and you know, listen, I loved it when he gets the ball now, he takes people on. That's the key. Celtic always had wingers that took people on and were a real handful. He's got a bit of pace, we know that, and he's working really hard for the team. So, but James Forrest coming on. Is it 500 games? Is that what you said?
For the club, yeah.
Which is a lovely, it's a lovely milestone, isn't it? And that, but he's, you know, Celtic have got the opportunity now to actually have a couple of players in most positions now that can come on, and they're not weakened by it.
30 of those matches have come against Rangers over James Forrest. Sterling knocks it back to Suter. And now it's Cropper to Barron, and Suter rolls it out to Sterling on the near side. Maida has it and he's put it out for a Rangers throw-in, which Journey takes quickly to Tavernier on the near side. Scales slides in, he's had a good afternoon, and he goes out for a throw-in to Rangers on the near side of it, level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box. 73 minutes just about on the clock. Celtic 2, Rangers 0. Tavernier bowls it into the box. Dessers gets a little touch for Czerny, but carries it only to Carter Vickers, and now it's with Forrest, who is driving forward. Maida's in space now, he can find them. Tavernier goes down, thinks he was tripped by Forrest. Celtic play on, dies in Maida, rolls it to Forrest, he's at the edge of the box, shifts onto the right side, his effort's blocked. Johnston with the chest down for Forrest, he's on it again, he's been involved almost immediately after coming on. It's a big appeal for handball, and a Celtic player tumbles in the box as well. It was Forrest hitting it towards goal with the outside of the right boot. John Beaton not giving anything at the moment. Suddenly Rangers come away in a counter with Lawrence up the other end. Shows way too much of it to Liam Scales again. What an afternoon he's had. Stays 2-0 Celtic.
Yeah, but looking at Kyogo at the edge of the box, of his own box, he's run all the way back to try to put an interception or try to get a tackle in, and he was part of that tackle, I suppose. But to do that, he looks as if his day's run, by the way.
Yeah,
Kyogo
does look that way.
And but what an effort from him.
Yeah, he cramped up a little bit there, and I think there is more movement. We'll get to Andy in a moment. Celtic have it with Kyogo, left-footed, ball low, out to the right for Forrest. Gets the overlap from Johnston. On pitch, Engel's out there, I think. And the ball forwards blocked. Rangers get it half away, but it's now with Callum McGregor to the edge of the penalty area. He's looking up at the goal. Oh, that is magnificent! That is absolutely magnificent from the Celtic captain. He's coming up with some brilliant goals this season, and he's just sealed the points. And the first derby of the season is being comprehensively won by the defending champions. Callum McGregor from 25 yards, not for the first time this season, has beaten Jack Butland. It is utterly superb from one of Celtic's most decorated players. Their captain steps up, and it's Celtic 3, Rangers 0, and there's more than the length of the River Clyde between these two teams right now.
Oh, what a goal, I've got to say. That was self-made. He's gone, he's picked the ball up on the edge of the box. Great play by Maida initially to run back and won the ball, that counter press. Gives the ball to McGregor, and McGregor just drops his shoulder again twice, and just steps inside, and there wasn't even a bender, it was a smash right across Butland into the right hand side. What a magnificent goal, Billy.
It's very similar to the one he scored against Hibs actually at Easter Road, if not a carbon copy. Identical. Let's get news of a couple of Celtic changes in the wake of that third goal from Andy.
Yeah, Adamida's coming on for Kyogo, as the guys were anticipating, and a Celtic debut for Luke McCowan, who's coming on for Rio Hatate.
Well, it's been just about the perfect afternoon for Celtic. Rangers have had their moments in the early parts of both halves, but Kyogo got his first of the season. It's easy to forget that was his first goal this campaign. His was a fine strike as well. But Billy, I was just saying, Callum McGregor, we always spoke about him as a massive goal threat early in his Celtic career. When he dropped back into that more sitting role beside Scott Brown, the goals dried up a little bit for him. But that one there, I mean, he's always had that in his locker. I remember him scoring one just like that in a cup final against Motherwell, Scottish Cup final. He got one against Hibs at Easter Road a few weeks ago, almost exactly the same. Yeah,
And I know it's early in the season, but he looks fresh. He's decided to give up in Scotland, and what Scotland's lost will be Celtic's gain, because they keep him fit, and they lost him for a spell last year. He's just instrumental. We talked about it pre-match, how he dominates midfield, and then he comes up with goals like that. So he looks at his best, Callum McGregor. Quietly efficient today, but I mean, the goal is out of this world. The one thing that I would say the build-up, Liam, is Kyogo before it, Pat pointed it out, and Maeda epitomises Celtic's performance today. They have worked their socks off, whether it's a front end defending, and that's why the ball dropped to McGregor. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. It's an unbelievable strike, but it's Maeda and Kyogo just setting the standard, chasing after things, winning the ball. McGregor does the rest.
There's Lawrence up the other end to Dessers, left-hand side of the box. Cyril Dessers. Celtic players around him. He's rolled it back to McCausland. McCausland's cross ball finds Tavernier, who shoots a goal, and Schmeichel saves. And behind it goes for the corner. He's not had much to do in the infancy of his Celtic career. Called into action there. Short corner, Czerny to Tavernier. Rangers are going to make a triple change in a moment. We'll get to Andy as the cross from Czerny's cut out by Ida, who puts it out for a throw-in on this near side. Quickly down to Andy.
Yeah, triple change for Rangers. Danilo, Nicholas Raskin and Hamza Igamani are all ready to come on. Possibly too little too late, but a triple change for Rangers.
Yeah, you would think so. You would think so. Callum McGregor there with his third goal of the season. He only managed 2 last campaign, so he's already beaten last season's tally, and this is just league game number 4. About 78.5 minutes on the clock. Celtic with a 3-0 lead, and Rangers, quite simply, Billy Dodds, have had no answer whatsoever to what's been thrown at them today.
No, I said at half-time with the boys, it's brutally ruthless, but it's been incessant, it's been constant as well, so no time to breathe. They had their spells in the game, they couldn't sustain it, Rangers, and Celtic have capitalised because they have dominated. They look fresh, they look sharp, they look ruthless, they're scoring goals. It's just been an all-round excellent performance from Celtic.
Rangers with Lawrence helping it forward, looking for Czerny. Scales is there, he finds Maeda just across halfway. Taylor goes down, fouled by Czerny. Free kick Celtic on this near side. I think there's been a bit of jiggity-pokery down there with the subs, Andy.
Yeah, change to the change. Danilo is back in the bench in front of me and putting his jersey back on, and Liam Balogun is now coming on as part of that triple change.
Well, the changes for Rangers see Robin Proper come off, and Balogun, who started last week, actually came off injured. He comes on. Raskin comes on for Czerny, and Igamani is coming on as well. So
Sterling's the other one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Sterling. Yeah. We'll see what Igamani can do. This is his debut, the Moroccan striker. Morocco under-23 international, signed a 5-year deal. Can play right across the front line. He's primarily a centre forward, but he's moved out to the left wing. And Celtic pick up with Forrest. To Luke McCowan, first real touch for him in a Celtic jersey, the former Dundee captain. Watched him net in that Dundee derby earlier in the season from the penalty spot. 2-2 draw at Tannadice. Here comes Dessers down the left-hand side, and he's got himself away from Carter Vickers down to the byline. Still it's Cyril Dessers looking to try and at least win a corner, but Carter Vickers has prevented even that. And Celtic have it over on the far side. Engels with the long right foot raking ball, looking for Ida. It's a cushion header from Suter down to Balogun. But in the final 10 minutes, here almost the final 9 now, Celtic 3, Rangers 0. And a comfortable day at the office.
Yeah, it could be a long 9 minutes for Rangers. Got to just make sure they don't lose any more goals. Game's done. Celtic look as if they're hungry for more.
It's a comfortable day at the office for Celtic as they to reclaim top spot, which will be coming now. And Aberdeen with 100% records at the summit of the Premiership. And it's a ball up towards Adam Ida on the near side. It comes off him and out for a Rangers throw-in. I said, Billy, it's international break now. That is going to be a long couple of weeks for Philippe, Clement. I would have thought in the back of this. This is his 5th go at Celtic. He's yet to come up with a victory against them. They go to Tannadice in their next league game before taking on Dundee after that. So they're in. They've got a bit of work to do, even this early in the campaign.
Yeah, this is an important game. You feel must not lose because they were on the chase as it is. 2 points behind now, 5. But they've got a bit of time to get their new signings up and running. They've got to come back. But the one thing they've got to do, Liam, is handle it mentally.
Jeffrey's cross into the Celtic box, headed away by Carter Vickers. Cushion header from Forrest to Johnston. Forward to Enkels, goes back to Forrest, now with McGregor, who shows too much of it to Raskin, who pinches it back for Rangers. Ball forwards cut out by McCowan. He was presented the other night, looked like he was living the dream as Raskin shoots from distance, and he shoots high over the bar, and it stays Celtic 3, Rangers 0. It is a familiar tale in the recent history of this fixture. Celtic on top. McCowan on the turn, prods it forward there to Ida. Ida then out to Maida. First time ball back to Taylor. The Rangers manager still down there barking the orders, just trying to see through this game. Try and reset their season after the break. That comes through towards Maida. Balogun gets there first. And then Tavernier, but he's giving it straight to Luke McCowan. McCowan out to Ida on this near side. Ida down by the corner flag. Rolls it back to Taylor. Taylor then to McGregor. Remember the action from Tynecastle and Rugby Park to come on Sunday Sportside. When we're done here, it's McCowan to Ida. Ida just outside the box, rolls it back the way to Carter Vickers, right of the centre circle. Out to the far side, low ball for Forrest. Celtic popping it around with confidence that you would expect. Barron slides in and puts it out for a Celtic throw-in level with the penalty spot. Bowled into the box for Forrest. Engels moves it back there to McGregor. Now Taylor in the right central area, he's giving it away. Barron gets it forward here to Lawrence. Nicks it to McCausland. McCausland then with the ball forward towards Dessers, cut out by Scales. Now it's Lawrence, delicate ball, looking for Gumani, left-hand side of the 6-yard box. Michael smothers it, holds on to it, and it stays Celtic 3, Rangers 0. The lineups at Tynecastle: Hart, Gordon, Kingsley, Halkett, Kent, Penrice, Oda, Spittle, Boateng, Grant, Oda, Shankland's back, and Vargas. For United, Walton, Adegboyega, Gallagher, Graham, Stevenson, Babunski, Holt, Sibbald, Ferry, Trapanovsky, Van der Sande. At Rugby Park, Kilmarnock, O'Hara, Wright, Mayo, Finlay, and Daba, Armstrong, Watson, Polworth, Kennedy, Vassell, and Anderson. As Rangers come forward, it's McCausland with a shot from the edge of the box, which is blocked. Comes to McCausland, level with the 6-yard line, wins the corner off Scales, who's not put a foot wrong, as I said. Hibbs, Bursic, Miller, Ekpiteta, O'Hara, Obita, Newell, Kwon, Triantis, Molotnikov, Kukarevich, and Boyle. Confirmation of all of that and the subs, the build-up, the pre-match interviews for Hearts, Dundee United, Kilmarnock, Hibs to come on Sports Sound. But in the final 5 at Celtic Park, it's a matter of time before Celtic pick up the 3 points. But Rangers have a corner on this near side. McCausland isn't happy with the attentions of McCowan inside the 6-yard area, and the referee's having to speak to both of them as James Tavernier prepares to take this corner on this near side, right in front of where the visiting fans would normally be here at Celtic Park. In from Tavernier, it's evaded everyone, and it pops out on the far side, and it's McCowan who gets there first and knocks it off his opponent, and out for a Celtic throw-in on the far side. Luke McCowan's shown a couple of decent touches since coming on for his debut today. He's certainly not overawed by the occasion. Some afternoon for him. Beautiful afternoon for him and his family, isn't it? Making his debut after that sensational transfer at the last minute. But to come in and play, and he doesn't look out of his depth at all, because he's got that energy about him, and you can see him fitting into the team quite easily. It was interesting listening to Stephen McGinn in Sports Scene last night. He kind of compared him to Paul Hartley. He started out wide and has converted himself into an attacking midfield player, and he looks very comfortable in there. He certainly was in the dark blue in Dundee, as McCausland picks up for Rangers on the right and rolls it back to Tavernier, who in turn goes back to Suter. Just over 3 of the 90 still to play. Celtic 3, Rangers 0. Remember those internationals to come on Sports Sound over the course of the next week. Scotland, Poland in the Nations League A, Portugal, Scotland on the Sunday. Thursday for the Poland game. And then, as I said, Rangers go to Tannadice in their next match. Celtic have got Hearts here in their next league match. Here is McCowan getting it from Taylor, challenged by Balogun though. McCausland has it, sweeps it in field to Raskin, he goes long with the left foot. looking to try and get Yamane involved, but the header away by Carter Vickers, who has gone down, but he's got back to his feet. Packy was concerned momentarily there in the background.
I'm always concerned when Carter Vickers goes down, because I think he's just fixing his boot. I think he was stood on.
And then received the pass.
Long ball for Johnston. Suter should be able to get onto it, and he heads it back to his goalkeeper, who holds on inside his box. 3-0 to Celtic, and Brendan Rodgers continuing to have his thumb on Rangers. He's got the best record of anyone in this fixture when it comes to the management of either Celtic or Rangers. Nobody's got a better record than him. This is his 19th. He's going to win 15 today. This will be his 15th. 3 draws, just that one defeat when Ryan Jack scored the only goal in that game at Ibrox during his first spell in charge. It's a phenomenal record that he has, and it's about the 80% winning rate. And you know, he's had plenty of these fixtures as well, which kind of underlines how well he's done in it. And Rangers just don't have an answer. Doesn't matter what Celtic team he puts out there. Just one victory against Brendan Rodgers over his 2 spells. Rangers pick up a free kick on this near side.
There's a gap, isn't there? And it's evident here today. There's a big gap. Intensity, even ability on the ball, I think.
Free kick, Tavernier to take just beyond the midway point of the Celtic half, right footed into the area. It's headed away by Enkels. McGregor's going to be able to boot it clear with the left peg. It's his fabulous goal that has Celtic cruising through these final few minutes. Even if they were to concede now, it's game over. Maida for a foul on Tavernier. We'll be having Aizen Maida dreams again tonight. James Tavernier has his pass from the free kick is straight behind for the goal kick, and that kind of sums up his and Rangers' afternoon here in the East End of Glasgow. But in the 90th minute, Celtic 3, Rangers 0.
Yeah, he's had one of his worst days, Tavernier, there's no doubt, and you can see mentally it gets to him. Just his team being defeated, but also individually how he's handled Maeda. And since the goal, you can see he's got that head loss. He's been spun so many times, he doesn't know when to deepen. He's rushing his passes now, and you can see he's a beaten man.
It's going to be a free kick to Celtic then over on the far side. Johnston has it, gets it back. 4 minutes added. Celtic have given it away cheaply. It's Dessers looking to keep a clean sheet again. Be 4 out of 4 at the start of the season. It's Dessers on it, left-hand side of the box. It's cross cut out by McGregor. It's a second chance with the head into the area, and then headed away by McCowan, and out for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side. So we're into the first of 4 minutes that have been added on at the end. Callum McGregor's been named the home team's man of the match, not for the first time in this fixture. Barron's cross is headed away, and then Engels picks up the loose ball. It's Balogun who finds Tavernier down the line for McCausland. Spins, moves infield, right central area. Maida comes to meet him, and then back by Raskin into the centre circle for Barron, and then switches it out to Jeffrey on that left-hand side. No ball infield to Lawrence. Lawrence then dinks it into the area, but he can't find Yamane or Jeffrey, and it was behind for the goal kick. And Rangers have seen lots of the ball in the Celtic half, but it's long after the horse has bolted. Here, the Celtic leading by 3-0, going into the second of the 4 at the end of the match.
Yeah, listen, you know, the result was never in doubt. I think once Celtic went into a lead and they got that second goal, obviously could Celtic build on it. Rangers have had a little bit more of the game, probably a little bit more of the game in the second half, but the gulf is I think it's pretty dramatic now, to say the least. And I know Celtic are at home, but the way that they go about their game is Celtic or Rangers can't do it with the players that they have. Yeah, that's the difference.
And you can see when they see the signing Celtic made right at the end of the deadline, you can see why Brendan Rodgers was so calm about the additions. He said they were coming, the reinforcements were coming. I think it was just the Matt O'Reilly departure that unlocked all of that. But Billy, I just wonder how much pressure, and you'll be discussing this I'm sure afterwards, but how much pressure Philippe Clement will be feeling himself, but also what he's going to be feeling from the Rangers supporters. There's none of them in here today, but I just wonder if the nature of this defeat is going to have repercussions for him.
Look, since he's come into the job, he's done well, but if you don't win Old Firm games, the question comes upon you.
Cross comes in from the right for Dessers. It's blocked. Might break to McCausland. Saved brilliantly by Schmeichel. McCausland must have thought he was scoring. Schmeichel desperate to keep his clean sheet. Here's Lawrence at the edge of the box, and McCowan digs it out. Long ball clear. It stays Celtic 3, Rangers 0, with just under a minute and a half left.
Yeah, and that's the big save. There, the big save is that I've been talking about. Could Kasper Schmeichel come up with him? And he has, Billy.
Yeah, he's not had much to do early in his Celtic career. There will be busier days ahead, I'm sure. He saves from McCausland. Rangers had a few goes at it there. Gimani and Jefty. Rangers come down the right-hand side. Taylor's gone down. It's Lawrence into the penalty area. Pulls it across straight to Schmeichel. Tavernier's waiting right to the penalty spot for the pullback and is asking when the pass never came. And it stays Celtic 3, Rangers 0.
Yeah, and even when Rangers get into positions, you're never comfortable they're going to finish. You know,
No quality.
No, the quality's not there.
Long ball from Schmeichel. The final 30-odd seconds being played out here. We'll get the reaction from this one. And then Hearts, Dundee United, Kilmarnock, Hibernian takes centre stage. 3 o'clock kickoffs for both of those. It is Greg Taylor for Celtic, pushing it infield to Carter Vickers, and now with McGregor to Scales. Scales ball forward to McCowan. He's had a good day today, Liam Scales. Said it a few times this afternoon as the final whistle goes, and Celtic win the first derby of the season. And assuming, and these two will expect it to be these two fighting for the title come the end of the campaign, it looks like Celtic are streets ahead as they join Aberdeen on 12 points at the top of the Premiership. Those two with 100% records. Rangers started the first half well, but missed a glorious opportunity through Rabi Matondo, and they were made to pay a really heavy price. Kyogo had the ball in the net. It was ruled out for offside after a VAR check, where they weren't to be denied for long. Dies in Maida on 17 minutes. Kyogo from outside the box on 40. They were 2-0 up at the break and already cruising at that point. They added just one more in the second. A spectacular shot from over 20 yards from Callum McGregor. It came with a quarter of an hour of the match still to play, as he smashed it home, as he did at Easter Road a few weeks ago, as he did at St Mirren last week. And Callum McGregor capping a man-of-the-match performance with the pick of the goals this afternoon. Rangers looked desolate down there. Dessers in particular, he had a chance as well. He had a couple of opportunities. But a real ominous statement of intent has just been made by Brendan Rodgers, whose record in this fixture is better than anyone's. And he and his players will do their traditional lap of honour here, because they've made the first statement in the Old Firm story of this season, 24-25. It finishes at Celtic Park, an utterly dominant champions coming out well on top. Celtic 3, Rangers 0.